Hey fellow tennis nerds, I hope all is well. Today I want to talk about the benefits of playing with a longer racket. As you might know, I'm not the tallest guy, so any kind of help with power, especially on the serve, is of course appreciated. I tend to like more control-oriented rackets, but I do tend to serve much less well with them. But I do tend to serve with less pace, and when you're playing tournaments, when you're playing more competitively, a little bit extra pop on the serve can really help you play well. So I was actually very curious to try the older generation of the Pure Aero Plus. There is no new 2023 Aero Plus yet, only this one. So this is the standard version, and with the old generation Aero Plus, it should be updated, I hope, early next year with the Aero 98. I don't have any confirmation on that. But then this one still performs really well, I must say. As I've said before, the string bed is a little bit more open, so more spin. And what you get with a longer racket is a higher swing weight, which results to more power. So this one is very easy to generate power with. It also has a higher stiffness rating. This is 65, this is 68. So it's a little bit harsher on the arm. I wouldn't say it's super stiff or bad for your arm technically. But I did feel a little bit of arm fatigue after playing with this for a few hours in a row. So if you have a sensitive arm, I would caution you maybe to avoid it. I did string it with a medium firm poly around 23 kilos, so I could drop the tension. But also I wanted to be able to control the ball. This generation of the Aero has more string movement. Due to the open string bed, the spin grommets create more movement in the main strings to generate more spin, but the life of the strings is not the longest. So obviously, after only a while of hitting, these are already dropping a bit in tension. P.S. Please check out my friends at Player Court. They have this excellent platform where you can find a hitting partner or a coach. Use my code and my link here in the description and you get 50% off the platform. Worth it if you can't find the proper hitting partner or coach in the US. I must say I really enjoy playing with this frame. It doesn't feel like a longer frame. The reason being that the swing weight is pretty manageable. It's below 330 in swing weight, which makes it an excellent racket if you're a player who's new to longer frames. You want to try if it adds a lot of pace to your serves and your ground strokes with the swing weight, but without adding extra weight. Definitely something you should try. There are other good long frames on the market. ISO 98 plus, 100 plus, V-Core 98 plus, 100 plus. There's also a Pure Drive plus. So Babolat and Yonex, they're the ones that actually persist with offering longer versions of their standard lines. There are no longer frames from Head. Wilson do offer the Serena one, which is 28 inches. So that's a bit too long for me, but some players might like that. Diego Schwartzman does, for example. And they had the Ultra 95, which is 27.25 inches. And this one is 27.5. Nice and powerful, but I would say still somewhat controllable. I do have to adjust my swing a little bit when I play with these longer frames. But since the swing weight was pretty manageable, I had no real long adjustment periods, which I can have with other frames. We usually see like a strong swing weight of a longer frame, 27.5 inches, to be around 345 or 350 even. But this one is below 330, similar to the Yonex V-Core 98 Plus that I tried and also liked a lot for a longer racket. So can really recommend if you want extra power on the serve, extra pop on your ground strokes. Stability is also increased with the longer frame. Then you should check this one out. It's actually a very nice playing racket and surprisingly easy to play with, and also very good pop on serve. I did enjoy it a lot on the serve. A stroke that can make or break you at times, so having some extra on the serve is never to be underestimated. Obviously, there is a little bit of an adjustment with longer frames, contact point, everything like that. You can adjust on certain strokes, like for example on volleys, gripping a little bit higher up. But overall, it's not such a bad adjustment if the swing weight is as low as it is with the Pure Aero Plus or the V-Core 98 Plus from Yonex, which also had a lower swing weight. So check this one out. I really like playing with it. If you're interested in longer frames, there's also a specialist website by Ring and Roll called Long Bodies, so you can check that one out as well. Not all brands offer extended frames, as I said. Prokenix have some extended frames. Yonex, Babolat, Wilson have a few. Head really don't have any longer frames as far as I know on the retail market, but they have plenty of pros using longer frames. So that could be something to look into. Probably the sales of these extended frames are not worth it. And you do find them more in the US, Asia and so on than in Europe. In Europe, longer frames are not used or sold on a mass scale. So it's harder to find longer frames in Europe for sure. So you need to look a bit closer. But this one was bought by me from Tennis Warehouse Europe. So on sale actually. I think I got a pretty good price on this one because this is the outgoing model until the new one comes. But I wanted to highlight it because I was really impressed by the playability. Stiffness, 68 strung, might be a little bit of an issue to some. Felt a little bit of fatigue after a few hours of play, and that can build up to tennis elbow. Could be my technique, could be anything, but generally it's something to look out for and something to consider with your stringing choice. I went a little bit high on the tension, but overall I enjoyed hitting with this one and I could play some pretty good tennis with it. Although it's definitely not a racket that I tend to enjoy, as I'm more of a control focused player. Alright, that's it about longer frames. Don't overlook them. There are a few on the market and it can help your power, especially on serve, but also on ground strokes. And it's something to think about and consider as an option. Many pros use longer frames. Diego Schwartzman I mentioned, Serena I mentioned. Casper Ruud also uses 27.5-inch frame from Yonex, the E-Zone DR100 Plus. So there are a lot of players actually using longer frames that we don't know about because they have some pro stock which is slightly extended. Even Bautista Agut uses a slightly extended frame. Novak Djokovic uses an ever slightly longer frame. So there are definitely lots of pros that like longer frames for the addition of swing weight without adding weight. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a nice day and don't forget to play some tennis.